Oh boy, that day is coming a lot closer to us. So guys, there's been massive pre-release information that's been dropping more about some upcoming new characters that many of us are excited about, and those are specifically Columbina and Varka are the two characters I'm pretty sure you guys are really excited about. You know, some more information about Durin, but there is going to be an absolutely new character, Zibai, or everyone has been calling the White Horse Adapters. There's going to be more information about their specific kit in today's video, and we're going to be talking about that and discussing their potential, especially Columbina, because many of us have been waiting for her, especially myself also, and I am very much excited for that. Durin, as well as so many other amazing not-cry character, is going to be coming soon, and I know that many of you are trying to get them, so if you're planning to swipe for pooling, then don't forget to check out U7Buy. If you know me, I always recommend you guys the best deals for your Genshin top-ups, and with a U7Buy you can save up to a 25% on all of your top-ups. With a 4.7 rating and over 40,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot, you can be sure U7Buy is trustworthy. Here you can see me doing a top-up where I'll be getting 2 Vulcans with a great discount. You just basically need your Genshin UID and server, then voila, your order will be processed instantly. Check out my link in the description and type in my code SUPRA to save an additional 5%, which is a great way to save your money, especially when you're topping up a large amount. So first off, a bit of some upcoming character potential release patch schedule. So we've got 3 major patches coming up. Lunar 3rd is going to be on Durin's arrival. That's already pretty much confirmed. Now after that though, it's going to be Lunar 4th, which is going to be roughly around the Lunar New Year patches also, which is where we're going to be having Columbina and also Zibai, a White Horse Adapters, as Lunar patches is going to be the Chinese New Year. Makes sense for Zibai to be coming. And then Lunar 5th is going to be having Varka taking the center stage, and that is going to be absolutely great, as we've been waiting on Varka for the past 5 years at least. Now here's some things interesting is that pre-release information has been confirming that Durin and Varka are both going to be classified as the Hexenzirkel or the magic character archetype, meaning if that is true, then they will definitely form a very much dedicated magic only character team surrounding that specific synergy. So yeah, if you're trying to really much investing into Varka, maybe try to get Durin whenever he comes as well, as Durin kit will most likely work really well with Varka. And that leads us to the second part of this, which is Columbina. Now we haven't waited for Columbina for as long as Varka, but I'm sure that any of you who have been going through the Not Cry story quest specifically, even if you don't know about Columbina, I'm pretty sure you're going to end up loving this character, because oh my goodness me, isn't she freaking cute. So there is a couple of information regarding her kit, which is where we're going to be having a bit of a first impression on it. However, there's definitely going to be very much beta information in-depth kit in around 10 days or so after Durin actually comes. So if you're new here guys, do consider subscribing to not miss out on my future Genshin videos. Okay, so what we know about Columbina so far is that she's going to be a Hydro Catalyst character dedicated towards being a lunar reaction supportive character, and also has the potential to do sub DPS damage number. And that's going to be really important, because in order for you to be a really good Hydro supportive character, you also have to have the ability to do sub DPS damage. Now a key mechanic though is going to be her elemental burst, and it seems to be some kind of domain expansion, where when she casts her elemental burst, Columbina will spread her wings and open her eyes. Yo, I'm pretty sure her elemental burst is going to look so pretty, and deploys a massive domain on the lunar surface. Well, I kind of wonder if it's going to be like the Jujutsu Kaisen domain expansion kind of style, or maybe it is something similar to Nahida domain expansion kind of style. But yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit more time for us to confirm. Now, according to recent trends, you would imagine Columbina also needing special kind of energy synergy like Mavuika, who gets her elemental burst from Night Soul Point, or you know, know, a very unique character like Skirk, Elemental Burst kind of game style, or those kind of things. But thank God, at the current point, we don't really have any kind of information that Columbina's kit will require any kind of special energy or mechanic like Mavuika and Skirk, which does allows her to be more universal potentially. I have to say the word potentially here because we're still waiting for more information about her kit. But being a universal character can do Columbina really well because she's a character that many of us like. So it does benefit us if she's more universal so that we can use her in a lot more team comp potential. Regarding her scaling and stats, she will mostly scale from HP. Definitely crit is going to be required whenever we are looking into her damage potential, and other than that, you know, EM and energy regen is going to be important also if she's going to be more focusing on elemental burst support. Now there's going to be new artifact sets specifically made for her. We will need to wait for more specific information on this kind of set, but just to note that we're probably going to be having to farm a new set for her specifically. Now at the current point, how her elemental burst work is maybe similar to how Farina Burst is going to work. It also has a duration of 20 seconds with a cooldown of 15 seconds, so you're always going to have 100% uptime for this. High energy requirement for this burst is almost certain, especially when it can be pretty powerful and the most focused skill within her kit. From the look of it, potentially her signature weapon and her C4 will help her regarding compensating for her specific high energy regen. Now at the current point, we kind of know that her C0 damage specifically is probably not going to be low, and there has been saying that it can potentially be higher than a C0 Farina, and that's going to be a pretty good situation for Columbina. But it can make sense because within the lore she's a very powerful character, and I'm actually going to be expecting her to do really nice damage number. How high of a damage number, we'll still need to wait for more specific beta information. But even if later on they nerf Columbina in any way, I'm pretty sure Holyverse will still have to aim her damage number to be pretty high. Now a bit of a constellation breakdown is that all 6 constellations will together provide roughly a 20% elevation buff to the team. So C1 to C5, there will be an average of 3% elevation damage buff for each of the constellation, while C6 will provide roughly a 5% elevation damage buff. But of course, there has been no concrete information regarding her constellation, so we'll have to wait more. You know, regarding the information of the elevated damage, is that it's basically something entirely different, kind of like another multiplier calculated separately, where, you know, Flint's and Lauma have it a little bit before within their kit. Alright, so here's where Columbina's kit can get technical because she works with the Verdant Dew system, where if you've been playing around with Lauma and Nefer, I'm pretty sure you guys know about this Verdant Dew system. Normally, the character can hold up to 3 Verdant Dew stack, but when Lauma or Nefer are in the party with Columbina, the cap raises to a 6 stacks. Those extra 3 slots are a special type of Verdant Dew. So how it works is that when you trigger Lunar Bloom reactions, both ordinary and special Verdant Dew recovers simultaneously, and when consuming Verdant Dew, the game will prioritize this using the special Verdant Dew first. So Columbina can consume this Verdant Dew to cast a special charge attack that deals multiple instances of Lunar Bloom damage. However, her damage multipliers aren't as high as Nefer's, so Nefer's still going to be the specific Lunar Bloom carry, while Columbina acts as the enabler and as the sub DPS. Though from what we currently know, there's some important limitation, as currently Columbina cannot convert Electro Charge, Bloom or Crystallize into their lunar variants on her own. She will need teammate to trigger those. However, this might change during beta testing, so we'll need to wait for more updates. So at the current point, the system will makes her a little bit heavily dependent on team composition, especially when having Lauma or Nefer being there to maximize the Verdant Dew potential, and more or less works really well in specific Lunar Bloom teams kind of gameplay. Though, you know, as we mentioned before, she's not going to be having any special limiting kit gameplay compared to Mavuika or, you know, sometimes Skirk specifically. Therefore, what we know at the current point, you will still be able to work on some of the other team comps that would like to have a Hydro or Field sub DPS potential, which can be really nice wise, and potentially replacing Furina in some teams potentially if you don't have a very much invested Furina. But as of now, that's mostly everything we know about her. We will need to wait a bit more time, but yeah, just a couple of days away before we entirely know her very much specific kit. So honestly, I am very much looking forward to that. Now let's talk about our White Horse Adeptus, whose unofficial English name currently translates to Zibai. I'm pretty sure there is going to be a specific name for her whenever it is officially mentioned. Now, who is this character? Who is she? Honestly, at first I thought that we never heard of her before, but if I remember correctly, she was actually first mentioned in the book Night in the Bamboo Forest, and supposedly being the daughter of Isaroth, the goddess of time. With her release, we'll get a deep dive more into the moon goddess complete lore, and that is going to be exciting. More importantly, we're here for her specific kit, where from her character design it is expected that she is going to be having white hair, being Geo elements, with her weapon being the sword. And obviously, since we are in Not Cry, potentially Lunar Crystallize is going to be available, and more or less her role within the team is going to be a DPS unit. So Zibai is going to be scaling off of defense, which is where you're going to be needing to stack defense on her. And I think that is not too much surprising, considering that in the past many of the Geo DPS character actually scales off of defense. Now here's the critical part though, is that Columbina and Zibai are said to be designed to play together in more or less like a Lunar Crystallize reaction team. However, Lunar Crystallize will only interact with Hydro apparently, not with Pyro, Electro or Cryo, as from some of the information we've been having. So team building is rather quite limited at the current point. Therefore, if you are planning to pull for Zibai, Columbina is technically going to be quite an important teammate for her. Something to expect though is that she will probably be paired in the banner with the character as of now translate to Iluga, something like that, a new 4-star male character with a Geo Poem Lunar Crystallize support. So you're probably going to be getting a complete Lunar Crystallize package within the Lunar 4th patch, and that's going to be interesting as Geo will probably make a decent comeback. I don't know if Zhongli is going to be having some kind of buff as well. Hopefully he gets something. We are very much excited for that, but yeah, we will need to wait for more information as Lunar 4th come closer. Moving on, it's also a very interesting section because the Hexenzirkel character meta is going to be coming very soon. Durin and Varka will form the foundation of the new magic character meta. Well, yes, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of the older Mondstadt character being buffed also. So Durin is coming in roughly 10 days time, whereas Varka is expected to be in Lunar 5th. It's currently being said that he's going to be kind of like an upgraded version of Wanderer as the Anemo DPS character. If Varka is in the magic character team, he technically won't be needing Farazan as the supportive character. So basically, Varka is going to be a replacement to many of the Anemo DPS character out there, supposedly because he is expected to be a really powerful character, especially within the story lore. So if he is an Anemo character, you know, Dao, Wanderer, Chaska, those kind of character, Varka is going to be better in terms of DPS wise. But yes, it's all speculation at the current point, but from the story point of view, it would probably make sense for it to be that way. So definitely his team structure is going to be such as Varka, Durin, and some of the other supportive magic character to be within the team as well, you know, like potentially Mona, and then the last slot can maybe be Bennett, but we don't know yet how much of a benefit Varka is going to be having, if he's going to be having more magic character being within the team. So yes, it's something that we will have to wait for more information to make sure about. So those are some of the character information that we have within the pre-release information at this point. Other than that, interesting information regarding a new map potentially being updated within the Lunar 4th, which kind of makes sense because we haven't had any map expansion for probably 4 patches until Lunar 4th actually arrived. Now the second part of the map expansion for Not Cry is approximately going to be half the size of Natlin, larger than the current Not Cry region itself. So yes, it's going to be fun. Obviously more exploration, local legends and rewards, all kind of things. At the very least, that's what they can do after, you know, again, a couple of patches without any map expansion. So there you have it, guys. Basically quite a massive breakdown towards some of the character that's coming within the next 3 patches. Looking into 2 distinctive meta of Lunar Crystallize with Columbina and Zibai, as well as the Hexenzirkel magic character meta with Durin and Varka. The crazy things though, Columbina being a much better supportive character as well as sub DPS character than a C0 Furina. If that's hold true at release, she could be one of the most meta defining support that we have had in over a year or so. I'd say after Shilonen actually arrived. So guys, what are you most hyped about? Are you saving for Columbina, Zibai, or you're waiting for Varka especially? If you guys enjoyed the video and you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on my future Genshin video. If you guys have any discussion or question, leave it down in the comment section and I or some other lovely Genshin players will get to you there. With that guys, I wish you a super day and I'll catch you guys on my next video.